Okay, that was me, or at least how I thought and felt back when I first jumped online. It was a struggle. I just really had a difficult time. And what I want to share with you basically is, what my experience was and what transformed and what I think is the top reasons why, people do not succeed online today. This is going to be an uncut video. I'm not going to spend a lot of time editing, if anything, any time at all. So if I do ums and ands and whatevers, that's just part of the deal. So when I first got online, I was in an MLM prior to that. I was doing well, I guess, in many people's eyes. I was making, around $8,000 a month. But here's the problem. I was spending every waking moment that I had working on my business. If I wasn't doing three-way calls, I was calling leads. I was doing trainings. I was doing webinars. It was a nonstop thing. And then on the end of the month, every end of the month, we had to fax in all the paperwork to the company before midnight, and I'd be faxing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages to the company. And it was a nightmare. It wasn't worth it for me. I had no life, and here I was selling the idea of lifestyle, the freedom, and I had none. And so it just kind of, drove me nuts, and it kind of dawned on me, it's just like, what am I doing? And this was at a time when, I was getting the emails, and I started to, at the time, I mean, really, I knew how to email somebody. That was about it. And I was getting the emails talking about online marketing and this and that, and so I started dabbling around and just looking at it, and then I found some things that, I thought, well, this looks good, and I bought this program, and some were, $25, $50, $100, and all the way up to $1,000, and only to find myself not, advancing or making any progress at all. So I kept looking. I was discouraged, but I kept looking, and I still bought more programs. I'm, almost ashamed to say, but I know a lot of other people have done the same. And then I ran into a gentleman who, to date, I think he's made $75 million online. I mean, he's like one of the biggest gurus out there. And he introduced his program to me. Basically, I was introduced to it online. And, I followed it. And lo and behold, what he had told me, which was some very simple stuff, I was able to follow and able to implement into my business. And everything was moving along great. I was able to discontinue the three-way calls and all these different things, and all of a sudden I had this extra time, but I was making more money, and my business was growing faster than ever. And I thought, whoa, this is great. And then I get a letter from the attorneys of that company, the company I was working, saying that I had to cease and desist all online marketing or I would be terminated. And I thought, wow, here I am building their company and, trying to, add to their bottom line while adding to mine, but they wouldn't go for it. I called the company to explain to them, and they still wouldn't go for it, so I had to make a decision. And what I did is I ended up bailing. I knew I was going to lose that check in 90 days, and I did. And so it was kind of a leap of faith, and I actually called the gentleman whose program I bought that actually helped me. And he introduced me to another program that, it was what you call a top-tier program. It was, more of a higher ticket program, and I joined that. And I followed, again, what he had told me to do. And, some of it was a little bit difficult in the beginning because, again, I didn't even know what a URL was. I didn't know anything. I was just totally lost on the computer, and many times I had to ask questions that I felt very stupid asking because they were the simple basics of being online. And sometimes when you get programs, they're so far advanced of where your brain is at, the data you have in your brain, that you just don't get it. And so, anyways, he was very willing to work with me, and I ended up implementing some of the things he said to do. And lo and behold, I started making money. And I'll never forget, I think it was my second month, if I'm not mistaken. I had a $13,000 day. Now, I want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not here to tell you that, if you follow what we do, or, that in any way, shape, or form, I don't promise anybody anything, because you can't. I just can't, because I don't know what your work ethic is, or, how willing you are to learn something new. But anyways, I had a $13,000 day, and then, I had a lot of like $5,000 and $10,000 days. And me and my wife used to have this little, we called it the money dance. We'd go in the kitchen and we'd do this little, almost a Pee Wee Herman money dance, and whatever. And anyway, so things were going really, really well. And, some things changed on the internet, and my marketing changed. And, some of the things that were working for me were all of a sudden obsolete, and Google did some Google slapping. In other words, they were, everybody who was on Google trying to market through Google with any type of online program, they were just slapped right off the computer. And everything seemed to stall out. And it was really not fun. So anyways, as time moved forward, I started doing some other different kinds of marketing and some different things that I had learned, and some of it worked. But I found that the program that I was involved in, they weren't evolving. They kept changing things, but they weren't evolving from what they originally, what their original intentions were. They started to leave those intentions, and it just seemed like they just didn't have it together. And then I decided to, just kind of, I actually took a break for about 9 months. And then I was introduced to the program I'm currently in. And, what I'm sharing with you here is not to necessarily recruit you into my program. I mean, if you wanted to join me, I'd be more than happy to work with you and help you. But at the same time, I just want people to have some clarity on what it takes, or what you have to go through in order to make this work. And I always look at analogies out there. I mean, if you look at the current job that you're in, you've probably had to learn some new things in order to, either maintain or stay in your job. I mean, I cut hair for 30 years. I mean, if I cut your hair the same way that I did 30 years ago, with the knowledge I had 30 years ago, trust me, you wouldn't be coming back. Because I didn't know a lot. I had to go through lots of classes, lots of training, and it was an ongoing learning experience in my job. Well, the same thing holds true here. It's just that I think what happens is people are so inundated with so much stuff, and their belief level has gone down to a point of where they just don't believe any of it's true. And I get it. I understand, because I know that, I bought into a lot of programs, and some of them, they might have been good programs, but they were just so far advanced to what I was trying to do at the time. So here's what I look at, is when you're in a business, whether it's an MLM business, it's vitamins, or juice drinks, or I don't care what it is, or if you're an affiliate for an affiliate company, the key to success in any one of those programs, I can absolutely guarantee you that it's not necessarily the program itself, but it has to be a good program, good products, so on and so forth. But it's the environment you immerse yourself in. In other words, what does the team around you look like? Who are the people that you're learning from? And just all of that is the key to developing a very, very serious business, because there is no company out there that did not create some type of environment and explode and become a monster company, whether it's just regular corporate America. If you've ever read Good to Great, it's always the companies that it's this group of minds, it's the group of people that you're surrounded with that will continue to help you grow and develop your business and learn what is the best way to develop your business. It's not just one single program. It's not a vitamin that, there's an ingredient from the yohimbe tree from South Africa. None of that is going to build you an income. It absolutely will not. What it is, it's being in an environment that is going to be conducive to growth. Below there's a link that can help you. That will help you start to bring good things into your mind, because personal development is a huge part of anybody who develops a very large income. They're developing themselves along with their business, and that's just flat out the way it works. And I think we as humans, as we get older, because we can get through the day without really doing a whole lot new. I mean, we kind of get up in the morning, we brush our teeth, take a shower, get in the car, drive to work, go to work, do our job, come home, eat dinner, hang out with the kids, maybe help them with their homework, maybe watch a little television, and boom, that's it. Well, what you're going to have to understand is that you're going to still do all of those things, but now you're going to add something else that is going to actually nurture your brain, that is going to help you develop into the marketer that you want to become. And that is the way it works. Now, the difference between when I started and now, light years. Because when I started, I had to learn HTML code and all the different things to build websites and funnels and the autoresponders and all these different things that I had to learn in order to make an income. And I did it. I was determined to, and I did it. But a lot of people didn't. But what has happened is the internet has evolved and grown, and technology has grown and evolved. And now, what used to take 3, 4, 5 years to develop for people, in 90 days, if you are willing to just step up and put your head down and just do what the people who know and who have been there before you, and who are 7-figure income earners, who are the ones that are going to teach you in 90 days, we have a 90-day plan for $30K a month. It is no longer the same model as before, but you have to look at what is the environment, who will I be surrounded with, and who will I learn from. And that is the key. That is truly the key to any type of success, and especially long-term success, because once you do that, and once you learn what you need to know, which is not necessarily any techie stuff. It has nothing to do with techie stuff. It has everything to do with, personal relationships and how to develop your business. Because this business, even though it's gone high tech, it's still high touch. It's still personal relationships. So I would highly recommend that you go down below, click on the link that brings you to the success, my success page. Basically, it's just a lot of free information from Success Magazine, Tony Robbins, yada yada yada, to where you can start to really get the success mindset that people need before they can actually succeed in their business. Because if you don't think you can, no matter how hard you work at it, if you still think you can't, you can't. So I hope this helped, and I'm going to be sending out some other videos with information on how to do certain things with an online business, and hopefully that helps you out too. All right, take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.